today's cup of coffee, we're going to be talking about some psyop strategies, and actually what we're going to be talking about are some techniques to combat this. So it's sort of battle strategy on some ways. And yes, I do struggle with the word strategy, especially later in the evening. We do have the equinox coming up on the 21st. And Leo King was talking about some really hardcore stuff coming up, and especially emotional triggers, whatever it is. And as somebody that was a mental health counselor and somebody who has studied martial arts, and my goodness, what haven't I studied at this point in time? Success. I haven't studied success at this point in time. But within that, to learn how emotions can affect a person, and also to learn about self-control. And that has become an ugly word in today's world. I don't know why. But if anybody ever reads, I think it's Sun Tzu, The Art of War, that is one of the main things. It's all psyops, most of it, because if you can psych somebody out, if you've ever played sports, that's something else. That's what you do. The opponent, you try to psych them out, because your mind can be your own worst enemy. And if you can get somebody in their emotions, guess what? You've already won. And that is very much stressed in martial arts. And this is what's going on in our world today, because when like I said, when the emotional brain takes over, the rational part of your brain basically shuts down.
Speaking of martial arts, Stephen Shu came to the thing today.
Did he?
And he's thinking about starting karate again.
Well, that's good. And that was something that somebody that was a former sensei of mine, it was what Kid was saying, that he is thinking of starting a dojo again. I probably could do some of it, and it's one of those that even back then we had discussed. As people age, you have to learn different strategies, because at a certain point, getting thrown to the floor is not as much fun as it used to be. And that was like chiropractor. One time he took x-rays and he's like, hey, you've had a fracture. And I'm like, yeah, dojo. Because we played rough. We did. And it was one of those that there were very few women in the dojo, the last dojo that I attended. And it wasn't like the guys went full out, on that, except the last one sensei, and I don't know what was going on in his world, and he just absolutely beat the hell out of me. And, I was one of those that's like sort of limping to my car, and that thought of, I'm never coming back here again. And it's like, and then I thought, you ain't going to beat me. And so I went back the next time, because every time he would kick me and I would fly across that floor. And the last time I dragged myself up by the ballet bars, that was where our dojo was. And guess what? The man learned respect. Now, I could have got all in my fifis and I could have whined and cried. And it's like, oh, I'll be oppressed because I'm a female. Guess what? If I'm going to have an altercation, a lot of times, it's going to be with a man. I need to know how to fight and to fight properly. And, that was like I was responding to somebody online a few minutes ago about, as a 5'5" female, do I think that I could actually kick the ass of a 6'2" solid muscle male? No. That's why I 2A all the way, because that is the great equalizer. But first of all, the best strategy on that, the best way to block a shot, don't be there. Assess the situation. And, it's not a matter of running. It's a matter of, like I said, strategy. It's a matter of not being stupid, of being rational. Understand what you can do, understand what you can't do. What if you've got a weakness in some area? Strengthen that. Because right now, the psyops are so thick. And that's why I urge people, if all this stuff is wearing you down, watching it and hearing about it and stuff, Turn it off. You knowing about it for, not knowing about it for a day or a few hours or something can very much save your brain. If you find yourself getting overly emotionally charged, find out why. Usually it's because lack of control. Control what you can. This is where communities of other like-minded people very much can be of a benefit to you. I mean, we're talking about positive people, positive strategies. We're not talking about other people that have diseased thinking, because we need clear heads right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Kid, what started this, he, it was a female that started running her mouth on him. And now we have got some spirited Jezebel going out there in just, my God. And there's a lot of things that can be done. There's a lot of things that can't be done. And this is where females like myself to sit there and go, oh no, I'll bridge that gap. Because men, this is, I understand, I empathize with you all, because y'all are under attack. And it is a matter of learning how to fight correctly. And that's what I told Kid. I said, do not let your mouth override your ass.
Which is exactly what she was doing, and I was about to let her have it.
And what good would that have done? Because you would have been...
She would have known I'm not the one.
It wouldn't have. Because there again, you were being drawn out. You were being drawn out. And the people that you had worked with, they would have thought less of you. She's new there. They're going to know where they stand with her now.
The fact that she's already gotten fights with 2 people, that shows her ass.
And this is where I was talking to Kid, realizing, like I said, that Scripture is very much, that is strategy, that is battle plans on this stuff.
At one point, I already told you that, she said I do next to nothing. Well, today, yeah, because most of the time, she was doing all the work. She was in my space, and I'm like, I can't do, because she's doing already. So I just sat back. Plus, it was my last day. So I just sat back, and I was chilling.
But
I was
Steve,
vibing.
You were chilling.
But guess what?
Vibing.
I was over there with Betty at one point after the first incident. I was helping her with her computer. I wasn't just sitting there talking. I was helping her try to connect her printer up to her computer. And guess what? Eventually, we got it figured out.
Right. But the thing is, now guys, do not do this. As far as being under attack like Kid was, what is he trying to do? He's trying to rationalize what he was doing, that why the attack was unwarranted. The attack was unwarranted because it was unwarranted. And we've got mental illness out there in epidemic proportions. You never know who you're going to come in contact with in a store or whatever it is. Never let somebody that you do not know get up in your space, which is about 6 foot. That's your bubble, folks. And that's striking distance. Do not let somebody get to where they could physically assault you. And as far as, the angry words thing, then you get into that schoolyard stuff. Well, you are such and such, and you're such and such, and your mama dresses you funny.
Oh no, I was going to read her for filth because she dresses herself. And I'm like, you dress yourself? You get your hair done like that on purpose?
Listen.
You do your makeup like that?
No. When you're trying to one-up somebody that's crazy, now what does that prove? What does that solve?
Mental illness plus mental illness equals fire.
On something
and
like that.
And it causes an explosion.
All it does is make you look less.
Oh yeah, like I said, it causes an explosion. And not a good one.
Then that shows that there's a chink in your armor that you need to work on.
Oh yeah. But the fact that I held my mouth most of the time...
You did, and I'm proud of you. And that is something... The word humble is used in Scripture. And people don't understand what that word means. That and meek. They think that you're supposed to be mousy. That is not the definition of that.
I wasn't about to back down. If it wasn't for Betty not wanting us to fight, I was not going to back down from that.
I understand that. But you also have to realize, and this is what people hollering equality and this and that and the other, but still yet, if you hit somebody else, that's an assault charge.
Oh, I wasn't going to hit her, but verbally.
I don't know that today you could even say something like that. This is the reason that God said, that Christ said, do not return evil for evil. You return good for evil.
She doesn't know the shit that I've been through. She doesn't know anything
You're not.
of me.
You're trying to rationalize her mental illness.
Oh, I'm
you
not.
Don't have to.
I'm given a reason why I react the way I do, because, and I love you, Dad, and I know that you're going to see this. But when you and I got in fights, I was not backing down. I was not going to back down, and that's why you and I had a lot of arguments, and I apologize for that.
But
I
you know
truly
what?
do.
If somebody is escalated, that's one of the things you can, that as a counselor, and again, this is battle strategy, that you never tell somebody to calm down.
That's the thing. I was still, like, the first blow up or whatever, with her being defensive about the guns or whatever, she wouldn't even let me finish. I was still being like, I was being quiet. I wasn't about to fight with her. She wouldn't let me get my words in, and I'm just like, okay, fuck off. I didn't say that, but I thought it.
Yes, but the thing is, it's taking away time that you have now. And that's the devil's goal, always. Steal, kill, and destroy. Because you're still emotionally charged. She probably doesn't. She's still an ass, you know.
She's not going to last long there.
It doesn't
She's going to get
matter.
another fight and then quit, and I hope she does.
It doesn't matter.
I hope she rots.
You're still, that's what I'm saying. Not only did she beat you then, she's beating you now. See that within yourself. And so, guys, when you all get in a verbal altercation with a woman, the best thing to do is to stand there and look at her. You do not have to be drawn into it. You do not have to respond. You do not have to go back to schoolyard. That was one thing about my kids. It's like, your mama wears combat boots. It's like, yes, she does, and she knows how to use them.
You see that? That's my mama. She'll kick your ass. Don't fuck with me.
Right, but it was not like I have ever gone out looking for a fight, ever.
No, it's always if it's warranted.
No, it's one of those, it's like I'm not a victim.
Exactly.
Because that I went through abuse.
Exactly.
And it was just,
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, you all are under attack right now, but going back to meek and humble. To be humble means that you don't think you're better than anybody else, but you also don't think you're less than anybody else. And as far as meekness, I think that was the one that was something, I should have looked up the correct Greek term for that, but it applied to a war horse. And that this horse, that had the ability to carry a soldier into battle fearlessly, could also have enough control of itself to allow children to ride it safely. That is self-control. That is what we are all supposed to strive for. And even if somebody does do something to poke you with a stick emotionally, and women, let me tell you something. We all know how the dark side of our half is. And it's like, manipulative, conniving, all these things. But there are some good ones of us out here. So guys, don't ever give up on that. As far as the catty, bitchy, all that stuff, you don't have to fall into that trap. Man, if a woman is coming at you with any of that stuff, do not let her see that you have a reaction. Working around men was much better for me, because usually if there was a dispute, it was like, a couple of fist fights, and then that was it. They'd go have a beer. They were good. Women, oh no, they'll hold grudges forever. And again, this is psyops, and that we have women that are trying to emasculate, I think is actually the word, emasculate. They tried to put your balls in a jar in a closet someplace. That's up to you. Do not. There is no woman on the face of the earth that is worth you all losing your maleness If you have to weaken yourself to try to please a female, they're a dime a dozen. You go find you another one.
Mm-hmm.
So, within the next couple of days, like I said, we've got some stuff coming down. Don't know exactly how it is, but it is a matter of trying to draw people into an emotional, whatever it is. Take a step back. Deep breathe, like he had just said.
Or did.
And let it just wash over you. Just think about it as stepping in dog shit. What do? You sit there, you cuss, you wash it off your shoe, you go on with your day. So, yeah, I'll have to put a language warning on this one again, too. Don't let the demons, and that's exactly what this is. This is trying to cause discord amongst families, co-workers, communities, nations. Now that is the agenda. And so, like I said, when you realize that you're emotionally escalated, take a step back. Don't let your mouth write checks that your ass can't cash.
And hers writes a bunch of checks that bounce.
Well, anyhow, and kid's 22, so it takes him a while. It's going to take him a while to process. It takes all of us a while to process sometimes. I mean, I've been through so much stuff at this point, I'm like, yeah, is that what you got? If you get an opportunity to, I was trying to think where this, the Roku thingy. The Roku thingy is great. If you don't have one, get one. There was a movie that's called The Possessed that is closer to the accurate account of the child that was possessed, that it was his story that The Exorcist was based on. And there's some great battle strategy in that, because the priest who came against this thing, after it had, and again, it was a matter of trying to get him emotionally charged by saying vile things, all this stuff. And at the end of it, he looked at it and he said, "Is that all you got?" Yes, the devil provided distraction, or tried to provide distraction even on that. And to sit there and say, "Is that all you got?" And it's one of those, if you have to go out in the car and cuss or scream or cry or whatever, you never show weakness to your enemy. So, that's some battle strategy for you today. And we've got a lot of people in this nation, they need to toughen up. We go back, we look at some of these folks that went through the Depression and everything hardship. And it teaches you if you allow it. And we've got a lot of people that are weak right now, because it is a matter of good times to make for some weak people. If you know somebody that needs help with any of these things, because this is spiritual warfare, this is psyops. So if you know somebody that needs help, help them. If you're the one that needs help, ask for help. I don't know everything, but I know something. And so we are in perilous times. So if you've got other spiritual battle plans, battle strategies that you'd like to share, that's great. If you've had paranormal, supernatural experiences, UFO, alien encounters, cryptids, yeah, everybody knows that these demons walk on the earth these days, folks. Anything like that, alternate realities, we are seeing the attempt to alter reality. Any of that stuff, email me at cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. You can do this. And God is still God. The first time he came down here was as the sacrificial lamb. Second time, it's going to be as conquering king. So, I don't know if they think it's going to be a kinder, gentler Jesus, but No, y'all ain't seen the real deal yet.
I want him to come fast.
Well, it's one of those. He's on his. We've got a lot of people. We got work to do while he's here. You know, until he gets here physically. So, yeah. So you all have a beautiful, blessed day.